Chapter 71. The company is in urgent need of talent, and I'm afraid you are the only one who can. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yang Dehai didn't beat around the bush when he heard this and replied directly. My main job is still driving. The monthly salary is 8,000 yuan, with insurance and other benefits. Can the job Yang Dehai introduce to you cheat you? How is it? Is everything you said true? Lu Pingtao looked at Yang Dehai with some hesitation in his eyes. He couldn't find a job with this kind of treatment even when he was young. Now that he is old, will anyone really want him? I am working there now, will I cheat you? Can I ask what the specific job is? A shuttle bus driver will have a fixed route to pick up and drop off employees to and from work. I'll just ask you if you want to do it. I'll tell you that this is because the boss trusts me and has given me the task of recruiting people. Otherwise, do you think such a good position will be your turn? Yang Dehai looked at Lu Pingtao seriously. Okay, I believe you. Lu Pingtao hesitated for a moment and agreed directly. He believed that Yang Dehai would not cheat him. Is that right? This is the company's business card. Go to the company to sign the contract tomorrow morning. Yang Dehai took out a business card and handed it to Lu Pingtao. The business card was prepared in the car, so he took one when he got off the car. In the afternoon, Chen Mo returned to the company with the information she had investigated in the bus trading market. Mr. Chen, these are the prices and models of all buses. In the office, Chen Mo handed the sorted information to Chen Mo. Chen Mo took it and took a quick look. The price of large buses is basically between 800,000 and 1.3 million, as for small buses, he didn't pay much attention to them at all. After all, large buses can cost more money, and there are more seats, so employees don't have to be so crowded when riding. After looking for a while, Chen Mo's eyes finally fell on a bus priced at 1.29 million. This car is top-notch in terms of price and configuration, but soon Chen Mo realized a problem. Now that the vehicle has been selected, who should pick it up tomorrow? Tomorrow, Chen Mo will work with the finance department to deal with the insurance changes of employees at Sangshui Games, so she will definitely not be able to go to pick up the car. You should be in charge. Unfortunately, Wei Yan is not here, and Sangshui Games also needs to purchase computer desks and chairs, etc., so I am afraid there is no time. After thinking for a while, Chen Mo suddenly thought of a person, and there is also a very good plan. Not bad. In this way, not only can the problem of future purchases be solved, but there is no need to worry about him doing things behind the scenes. It is really perfect. Xiao Rou, notify Li Shen to come over. Okay, boss. Shen Rou got up and walked out of the office. Not long after, Li Shen walked in from outside, and at Chen Mo's signal, sat down at the desk. Mr. Chen, do you have any instructions? I want to discuss something with you. Mr. Chen, you say, as long as you order, I will definitely complete it. Li Shen sat up straight, his expression was extremely serious. Recently, the company has been developing too fast, and some places are in urgent need of talent management. I have thought for a long time, and only you can be qualified for this position. I don't know what you think. After Chen Mo finished speaking, he looked up at Li Shen. When Li Shen heard what Mr. Chen said, his eyes were almost wet. He didn't expect that he would be so important in Mr. Chen's eyes. He took a deep breath and said solemnly. Mr. Chen, just give me your orders. Whether it's climbing a mountain of knives or going down a sea of fire, Li Shen can do it. Looking at Li Shen's reaction, Chen Mo was secretly happy in his heart. He could finally get this old six to another place. He cleared his throat and spoke slowly. It's like this. With the establishment of the company cafeteria, as well as the company's renewal and development, there is a huge talent gap in the company's logistics support. So, I want to transfer you to logistics. Due to the shortage of talent, you may have to take on two positions. Two positions, the head of the purchasing department and the head of the life department. But considering that you have multiple positions, your salary will be adjusted from the previous 10,000 to 15,000. What do you think? Mr. Chen, I am sure there is no problem with the life department, but purchasing requires the use of computers to make purchase tables, and I don't know how to use those office software. I'm worried that I will mess things up. Li Shen scratched his head, feeling a little ashamed of the big talk he just said. Chen Mo was happy when he heard this. Isn't this better? I like this kind of inexperienced person. Li Shen, since I dare to put you in this position, I trust your ability. We can't underestimate ourselves. If we don't know office software, we can learn it. You are still young and you have to get in touch with new things. Just do it boldly. I, Chen Mo, am not afraid. What are you worried about? Mr. Chen, thank you. Since you have said so much, it would be too rude for me, Li Shen, to disagree. Don't worry, Mr. Chen, I will definitely do these two jobs well. Li Shen stood up from his seat and bowed deeply to Chen Mo. He felt that the luckiest thing in his life was meeting Mr. Chen. By the way, Mr. Chen, if I am transferred to the purchasing department, who will be in charge of the workshop? After Li Shen sat down again, he asked with some concern. I think Jiang Cheng is good, and I plan to let him take your place. Chen Mo said. Brother Jiang, he is a good candidate. Li Shen nodded when he heard this. Jiang Cheng had been in the factory when he entered the factory. He was honest and didn't like to talk, but he was very serious and careful in his work. There were few mistakes in the products that passed through his hands. More importantly, he worked in machine tool maintenance for a period of time when he was young, so now Jiang Cheng can repair the cutting machines with some problems in the workshop. Moreover, a while ago, a small modification was made to a cutting machine. The work that usually requires 3 processes can now be completed in 2 processes. The production efficiency has been improved a lot, and he is preparing to let Brother Jiang modify all the cutting machines. However, he has been transferred to logistics and Jiang Cheng will take over his position, so there is no need to worry. He believes that Brother Jiang will definitely modify it. Since you also think there is no problem, then this matter is settled. Go back and call Jiang Cheng, I will tell him. As for the handover of the workshop, you can discuss it on your own, I will not interfere. Chen Mo did not expect Li Shen to agree with Jiang Cheng, which saved him a lot of trouble. Okay, Mr. Chen. Li Shen got up and left the office after hearing this. Not long after, Jiang Cheng knocked on the door and walked in. Just now Li Shen found him and said that Mr. Chen wanted to see him. This is nothing, but the expression on Li Shen's face is really weird. I asked him what it was, but he didn't say it. Just said, you will know when you get to the office. Is it that Mr. Chen is dissatisfied with his work there? Or is there any change in the matter that he went to Mr. Chen this morning? Mr. Chen, you are looking for me. With trepidation, Jiang Cheng walked to the desk and asked in a low voice. Chapter 72. There is a cafeteria, why go to a restaurant? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Don't be so reserved, sit down and talk. Wait until Jiang Cheng takes a seat, then continue to speak. Nothing else, just adjust your position. Li Shen has been transferred to other departments due to the operation of the company, and the position of workshop director is vacant. I thought about it and think you are very suitable for this position. Mr. Chen, but I have never been a leader. I am afraid that I can't manage well. Jiang Cheng hurriedly spoke after hearing this, and his words were a little stuttering. Being a leader is certainly a good thing, but this is Mr. Chen's company. He is very worried that after taking office, he will not manage well and cause losses to the company. It doesn't matter, no one is born to be a leader, just manage as you think in your heart. Slowly, you will get it over time. Okay, it's settled, you will be the workshop director in the future. In addition, your salary will be upgraded to the level of the workshop director, and the salary is 10,000 per month. Chen Mo did not give Jiang Cheng a chance to refuse, and turned to look at Shen Ro directly. Xiao Ro, you will communicate with the finance department later to inform them of the job transfer and salary adjustment of Jiang Cheng and Li Shen. Mr. Chen, I will give it a try. If I can't manage well, you can remove me at any time. Jiang Cheng nodded and agreed when he saw that Mr. Chen had made a decision. Okay, just manage it with confidence. I believe in you. Chen Mo looked at Jiang Cheng with an encouraging look. but secretly thought in his heart that if you can't manage well, I can use you for a lifetime, and removal does not exist. Jiang Qing left the office with a touched face. I was excited and nervous. I was excited that I got a promotion and a raise. I was nervous because I was not confident in my ability. After Jiang Qing left, Chen Mo took a glass of water and put it on Chen Mo's desk, sighing. Mr. Chen, you are really good to your employees. Whether it was Wei Yan before, or Li Shen and Jiang Qing now, of course, including her, if he was in other companies, he would probably still be working at the bottom. Even if the company needs a manager, those bosses are more willing to spend money to recruit experienced people to take the position, and rarely train their own employees, but Mr. Chen is different. Even if his employees do not have job experience for the time being, he is willing to promote his own employees and slowly train them. Well, there is no way. Who lets their abilities be there? Chen Mo picked up the water cup and took a sip. Near the end of the get-off-work day, Yang Dehai also returned to the company. Mr. Chen, my friend is willing to come over. The two companies will sign a contract tomorrow. Yang Dehai came to the office and reported the matter. Sorry to bother Brother Yang. Chen Mo's expression was happy. Now that the driver has been found, Li Shen can take the new driver to pick up the car tomorrow. Now there is another system fund consumption. Congratulations, Lao Jiang, shouldn't you treat the brothers to a meal for your promotion? After get off work in the workshop, the employees who have a good relationship with Jiang Qing instantly surrounded Jiang Qing. Jiang Qing looked at the friends around him and smiled embarrassedly. Just after he left the office, Li Shen took him to announce the news in the workshop, and then did a simple work handover. Okay, what do you want to eat? I'll treat you today. Anyway, promotion is something worth celebrating, and it's normal to treat a few friends to a meal. How about going to the home-cooked restaurant we went to last time? That restaurant is really good, with large portions and favorable prices. Several employees discussed where to eat. At this time, another employee interrupted. You won't forget the company cafeteria, right? They are all made by star chefs, 6 dishes for one meal, and there is no limit on the quantity. The taste is much better than the home-cooked restaurant you mentioned. And the wine and water in the refrigerator are also unlimited. Drink as much as you want, as long as you don't waste it. After hearing this, everyone fell into silence and looked at each other. The cafeteria was officially opened last night, but just one meal last night has conquered them. Before entering the canteen, they didn't have much expectation for the food in the canteen, but when they entered to serve the food, their perception was completely overturned. There were 6 dishes in total, including braised pork slices, braised prawns, sweet and sour spare ribs, etc. And each dish was delicious, which made them hungry. The drinks were also very well prepared. There were 6 large refrigerators placed around the dining table, with drinks, mineral water, beer, and milk. Compared with those company canteens where the last meal was cabbage and the next meal was beans, it was simply a world of difference. There were also 2 large LCD TVs hanging on the 2 walls of the canteen, and you could watch a movie while eating. The atmosphere was simply too good. After eating and drinking, there was a leisure room on the 2nd floor. Those who wanted to exercise could play table tennis, and those who wanted to rest could get a massage on the massage chair. Where to eat in the canteen? Jiang Qing asked tentatively. Of course, the food in the restaurant is not as good as the food in the cafeteria. Let's go to the cafeteria. I don't know what the food is today. Don't tell me, I'm really a little hungry. Several people walked towards the company cafeteria together, all with smiles on their faces. Old Lu, this restaurant is open. Lu Jinghua heard his colleague's words, looked inside through the window, and found that it was actually open for business. When he passed by here a few days ago, it was still under renovation. He didn't expect it to be open today. Looking at the layout and environment inside, it looks very good. I don't know which boss built the restaurant here, but I don't know how much it costs. After thinking about it, he said. Why don't we go in and take a look? Okay, let's go in and take a look. If the food is good and the price is okay, we don't have to take a taxi to eat outside in the future. Another colleague nodded in response. The two walked into the cafeteria together. As soon as I entered, I felt a cool breeze blowing on my face. This restaurant is good. The air conditioning is so good. The decoration is also good. The chairs are not cheap. Hey, these two large LCD TVs are good. They must cost a lot of money. Lu Xinghua listened to his colleague's sighs with shock in his eyes, although he didn't know much about decoration, the temperature of the central air conditioner, the two large LCD TVs, and the several large refrigerators placed around. It is enough to show that the owner of this restaurant has invested a lot of money, but why don't we see waiters here? Lu Xinghua looked around and felt a little confused. Soon, the two came to a booth, and the dishes were neatly placed on it: roast chicken, braised pork elbow, spicy shrimp tail. Lu Xinghua looked at the dishes one by one, and the fragrance hit him. He couldn't help swallowing his saliva. Just then, he saw a fat man dressed as a chef walking out of the booth, so he asked, "Hello, how are these dishes sold?" Chapter 73. This is probably what Mr. Chen wants to see. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wang Maonian heard the visitor asking, and looked at the chests of the two people. There was no company badge at all, so he sighed. Sorry, this is not a restaurant, this is the employee restaurant of Changfeng Garment. He didn't know that this was the nth wave of people who thought this place was a newly opened restaurant today. It seems that I have to report the situation here to the boss and find a solution, otherwise I can't explain it every day. This is the employee restaurant. Are you kidding? Whose employee restaurant has such good food? Oh. I understand. Your employee restaurant is charged. The colleague next to Lu Xinghua suddenly said. Wang Maonian looked unhappy when he heard this. You too, it's time to eat soon. Please don't disturb my work. Please leave the restaurant. Sorry, we made a mistake. Lu Xinghua said apologetically, and then pulled his colleague out. As he walked and looked at the layout of the restaurant, he secretly sighed that the boss of this company was really generous. He spent so much money to build a staff restaurant. When he was halfway there, he found that some people had already started to walk into the restaurant, looking at the work clothes and work badges of those people, Changfeng clothing. It was obvious that these people were employees of this restaurant company. Soon those people walked to the booth, ordered a few dishes, sat down at the seats, and did not pay at all. Obviously, these meals were not required to be paid, as his colleagues said, but they were free. This treatment is really good. Lu Xinghua sighed and walked out of the restaurant step by step, but after walking a few steps, he saw a familiar figure walking into the door of the restaurant. Jiang Cheng. How could he be here? But after seeing the work clothes on the other party, he understood, obviously, that this Jiang Cheng is an employee of the company. Old Lu, why are you here? Jiang Cheng looked at Lu Xinghua in front of him and asked in surprise. Lu Xinghua looked a little embarrassed when he heard this, and explained briefly. Oh, so that's it. Jiang Cheng suddenly realized and then spoke. This is the staff restaurant. It's not convenient to entertain you. I'll treat you to a meal when I have time. Okay. Lu Xinghua nodded and left the restaurant directly. In his heart, he couldn't help but recall the benefits such as 2 days off and insurance that Jiang Cheng mentioned when he met him last time. He didn't believe it at that time, but after seeing this luxurious staff restaurant, he believed it a little. It seems that I should really go and ask about it. If there is really a factory with such treatment, I must seize the opportunity. Yao Yao, take this money and use it. Your dad and I met a good boss. We can earn nearly 20,000 yuan a month now, so eat whatever you want. Don't think about saving money. Buy yourself 2 new sets of clothes. Don't worry about the family. Your dad and I are doing well. But you, I asked you to come back last time, but you didn't. In the living room, Dong Hong was on the phone, with some complaints in her tone. Mom, I have a lot of classes recently. I have to review on Sunday and don't have time to go back. It's not easy for you and Dad to make some money, so don't think about sending me money. I have enough scholarships here. My little sister is at the age of growing up. Buy her more delicious food. I still have things to do, so let's not talk about it for now. Lin Shui's city. Yang Yao Yao hung up the phone in front of a house. She knew the situation at home very well. What kind of boss would give them a salary of 20,000 yuan? She didn't even know how to think of a better reason to lie to her. Forget it, just keep the money for now and give it to them when you get home, otherwise they will worry again. Looking at the transfer record on the phone, Yang Yaoyao sighed, put away the phone, and gently knocked on the door in front of him. Soon the door was opened, and a middle-aged woman walked out. After seeing Yang Yaoyao at the door, she warmly welcomed her in. Yaoyao, come in quickly, thank you so much. Lily scored more than 40 points higher in the mock exam this time than before. Lunch break on the second day, at the entrance of the garment factory, a group of garment factory employees were visiting a brand new bus. Oh my God, where did this bus come from? I just saw Minister Lee get off the bus. It can't be bought by the boss. Wait for Minister Lee to come out and ask. Several employees were whispering around the bus. Not long after that I saw Li Shen walking out of the house, followed by an unknown person. Everyone is here. Li Shen looked at the employees of the garment factory who were surrounding the bus. Then it's a good time to announce it here. Yes, the bus next to you was purchased by Mr. Chen. And its purpose is, of course. Li Shen paused here deliberately. The people in the garment factory saw this and spoke anxiously. What is it, of course? Tell me. Yes, we have been waiting here for a long time. Seeing the anxious look of the people, Li Shen smiled and spoke. Of course it is used as a shuttle bus for you. Let's see if you still complain about the inconvenience of going out. Mr. Chen has spent a lot of money for your travel. This bus cost more than 1 million. So you all work hard. Although I have been transferred to other departments, if I know that any of you dare to fish in troubled waters during working hours, no one will have a good time. The tone gradually became serious. Minister Lee, don't worry. Mr. Chen is so good to us. You don't need to come forward. If I find anyone fishing in troubled waters, I will be the first to not forgive him. That's right. Mr. Chen has adjusted the working hours so short for our sake. If there are still people who want to fish in troubled waters, they are ungrateful. In the future, we will supervise each other and no one is allowed to fish in troubled waters during working hours. The employees of the garment factory shouted indignantly. Li Shen looked at the united look of all the employees and nodded with satisfaction. I thought to myself that Mr. Chen was so good to the employees, probably because he wanted to see such a scene. All the employees of the company are united. With such a foundation, even if new employees are recruited, they will be driven by such an atmosphere and integrated into the group. Such a company must have a bright future. In the office, Chen Mo was eating the food that Chen Mo had just brought back from the cafeteria. Suddenly, he heard a shout like an oath outside. The action of picking up the food stopped in mid-air, and the food in his mouth suddenly didn't smell good anymore. Li Shen, the sixth one. Chapter 74. Fang Chang is still the one he trusts the most. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Boss Chen, is this lamb chop not to your taste? Chen Mo saw Chen Mo suddenly stop eating after picking up a lamb chop, and asked with some concern. Not bad. Chen Mo came back to his senses and waved his hand, mainly because he was tired. Soon, the meal was over. Chen Mo returned to her workstation, secretly took out a small notebook and wrote a note on it. Boss Chen doesn't like lamb chops. Looking down, there was something else. Boss Chen can't drink alcohol. Staff restaurant. How is it, Lao Lu? I didn't lie to you. Boss Chen is really a nice guy. Look at the food in this staff restaurant. Those restaurants outside can't compare to it. The chefs in the kitchen were all hired by Boss Chen from star-rated hotels at a high price. Yang Dehai looked at Lu Pingtao sitting opposite him, and talked non-stop. Thank you. Lu Pingtao looked at his old friend opposite him, and after thousands of words, he only said thank you. Just a while ago, he received a transfer message, which was his salary, and finally believed what Yang Dehai said about early expenses. This company is really special. Why thank you? Just drive your car well and don't cause any accidents for Mr. Chen. I will. Lu Pingtao nodded. How could he not cherish such a good job? Zhangxue Game, Wei Yan and Fang Chang were sitting in the office drinking tea. Director Wei, I really have to admire you for bargaining. You actually bargained down the 75 square meter office to 64 square meter. Fang Chang drank tea and looked at Wei Yan with admiration. A normal 80 square meter office cost 72,000 yuan a year, but after Wei Yan's bargaining, it was only 61,000 yuan, saving more than 10,000 yuan. It's normal. His office hasn't been rented out for several months. If he wants to rent it out, I don't know how long it will take. If they don't rent it to us, if it's idle for 2 months, it's equivalent to a loss of more than 10,000 yuan. Weighing the pros and cons, the chances of choosing to rent it to us are very high, unless he is sure to rent the office out within 2 months, and obviously they don't have this confidence. Wei Yan smiled and explained that he had calculated the price, which was basically 2 months' rent. 2 months is just right. If it's too long, the lessor may consider it. Okay, no more, I have to go study. I have already reserved the chairs and other things. You just need to communicate with Mr. Chen. Wei Yan said, and then he stood up and walked towards the employee studio. During this period, with constant contact, he found that he needed to learn more and more things. Fang Chang looked at Wei Yan who was leaving, with admiration in his eyes. No wonder Mr. Chen attaches so much importance to Wei Yan. Not to mention Wei Yan's business ability, this learning spirit alone is enough. It seems that I have to work hard too. Fang Chang sighed, took out his mobile phone and dialed a number. He wanted to report today's situation to Mr. Chen. After all, he had to report to the boss about the purchase of so many tables and chairs and the rental of a new workshop. Mr. Chen, this is the financial report of Tsangshui Games. It says that it is the expenditure of office computer tables and chairs and the rental of a new office building. Chen Mo handed the report just sent by the finance department to Chen Mo. Oh. Chen Mo reached out to take the report, and his eyes finally fell on the total amount of consumption, which was more than 2.2 million, not bad. In this way, including the money for the purchase of the bus, more than 4 million has been spent. Ring. The phone rang, Chen Mo answered the phone, and Fang Chang's voice came from the phone. Mr. Chen, the things you arranged have been done here. The financial statements should have been sent to you today. Yes, I saw it. It's well done. Thank you for the compliment, Mr. Chen, but this time we have to rely on Director Wei. The 80 square meter office originally cost more than 70,000 yuan, but Director Wei saved more than 10,000 yuan directly. Chen Mo was speechless when he heard this. No matter where Wei Yan went, he was thinking about saving money for him, but fortunately, it was only more than 10,000 yuan, so there was no impact, alas. So far, the person who made him feel most at ease was Fang Chang. Everything was done according to his requirements, unlike Wei Yan and Li Shen, who would make trouble at any time. I don't know how this guy's game is doing, but with Fang Chang's ability, when this new game is launched, he will have another game that loses money. Thinking of this, he asked. Fang Chang, how is the development of your new game going? How long will it take to complete it? Mr. Chen, if the new office is fully staffed and we have enough manpower to develop it, it will take about 3 months. Okay, I will notify the HR department and recruit new people for you as soon as possible. Chen Mo hung up the phone and threw himself on the chair. If he recruited a group of new people, he could spend a group of system funds. Now, including the final payment of 400,000 that has not been received, there are only about 4 million system funds left. Next month's employee salaries can be spent, organizing sports games can be spent, adding some daily expenses. It should be possible to spend 200 system funds. In this way, there are only about 2 million system funds left for self-consumption. It seems that I have to think of some other ways to spend money. Forget it, anyway, there is still a long time, so there is no rush for now. In this way. A week passed. Chen Mo sat leisurely in the chair. Nothing unexpected happened during this week. The new office of Tsangshui Game officially started to work. Because the company's welfare benefits are very generous, the office with 20 workstations quickly recruited more than 10 new employees. He also spent a sum of system funds. What surprised Chen Mo even more was that Li Shen, who always made trouble, actually started to spend money on him. Looking at the purchase application form submitted, there was a consumption amount of more than 100,000. The biggest expense was that the cafeteria needed to replace an electronic induction door. After asking, I found out that employees from other factories often sneaked into the cafeteria. For this reason, Li Shen planned to install an electronic induction door. His own employees would distribute electronic induction cards. At that time, only those who swipe the card can enter the cafeteria, so that other factories can be prevented from sneaking into the restaurant. The idea was good, and it could also save a sum of money. Chen Mo approved it without thinking. Ring. The phone rang. Chen Mo glanced at the caller ID and saw that it was Fang Chang from Tsangshui Games. He answered the phone. Mr. Chen, the new equipment you want has been developed. Do you want to put it into the game immediately? Chapter 75. Could this person be a shill? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Oh, Chen Mo instantly became alert when he heard Fang Chang's words. The weapons were finally developed. These days, he occasionally entered the Tianlong game to play, but basically, he didn't play for long before the local tyrant brother would bring people to surround him and send him home. He had been holding his breath for a long time. This local tyrant brother not only failed his third settlement, but also suppressed him in the game. Uncle can hide, and can't hide. With the new equipment out, he can finally avenge his previous shame. Thinking of this, he answered without hesitation. Okay, go online immediately. Remember to adjust the explosion rate to the lowest. Okay, Mr. Chen, I will arrange for them to go online. Hang up the phone. About 2 hours later, Fang Chang sent a message. It means that the equipment has been put on the shelves, and his game account is also equipped with new equipment. Seeing this, Chen Mo hurriedly logged into the game. However, when I logged into the game, I found that the game version needed to be updated, and the update advertisement had announced the content of this update, including the appearance of new equipment and the method of obtaining each piece of equipment. A few minutes later, the update was completed. Entering the game, my game character was indeed wearing new equipment. This time, the revenge was finally not unexpected. Chen Mo thought in his heart and directly controlled the game character to go to the wild. According to the previous experience, it won't take long for the local tyrant brother to bring people over. Obviously, someone has been sent to wait for him in the game. Sure enough, not long after, a group of people surrounded him, and the leader was the local tyrant brother. After a while, Chen Mo controlled the game character to leave, and behind him was a gradually fading corpse. It's different with new equipment. I once again experienced the pleasure of killing in seconds, and it is impossible for those people to get the equipment on my body in a short time, so I can walk sideways in the game. How cool it is. Something is wrong. How come the attack power is so much higher suddenly? Yeah, I was killed instantly. I found the reason. You can check the update announcement. Damn, this game has new equipment again. That kid is wearing new equipment. Chen Tsong looked at the information in the chat room, frowned, found the update announcement, opened it and took a look. Soon, his eyebrows raised. This update was a little unexpected to him. He thought it was still a lottery event to get equipment, and this time, the updated equipment actually needs to be dropped by wild monsters. Interesting, but soon, he realized a problem. The equipment of this game has just been launched. How could the ID called Shuelua have equipment so quickly? At this time. In the chat room, some people also realized that something was wrong. That's not right. This equipment has just been launched, and it still needs to be dropped by wild monsters. How did that guy get all the equipment so quickly? Yeah. Fuck, that bastard is not a shill. Shill. Chen Tsong looked at the conversation in the chat room and muttered to himself, he hasn't seen a shill in this game for a long time. He thought that this game would not arrange shills, but he didn't expect to see a shill again. Could it be that this game company still wants to rescue this game? If this game can really be restored to its peak period, it would be good. Thinking in my heart, the scene of several guilds fighting together during the peak period, I still miss it a little. However, it's really ridiculous that a shill wants to show off in front of me now. I can't count the shills I abused in the past with both hands. Thinking of this, I quickly sent a message in the chat room. Everyone refresh my equipment. One piece of equipment, transfer 10,000. Received. Brother How, awesome. Brother How, get your wallet ready, I'm ready to work all night. In a rental house, after Jiang Jiu sent a message, he got up and took a few bottles of Red Bull from the refrigerator and put them next to the table. One piece of equipment costs 10,000. This set of equipment, including jewelry, has 10 pieces of equipment. He has planned to refresh equipment all night today. If he refreshes 5 or 6 pieces of equipment, it will be 50,000 or 60,000 yuan. How could he miss such an easy opportunity to make money? Chen Mo looked at the gang members who responded positively and smiled slightly. With money as motivation, he believed that these people would definitely work hard to refresh monsters. If he is lucky, maybe he will get all the new equipment tomorrow. Even if you are a shill, I will kill you anyway. Exit the game. Chen Mo stretched his waist comfortably, and finally got the place back. Mr. Chen, take a look at this. This person seems to be Lawyer Tang. Chen Mo came to Chen Mo and showed him a piece of news on her phone. Chen Mo looked over curiously. The top law firm lost the case, the senior management of Ruishang Group was furious, and the lead lawyer resigned. There was also a photo attached under the title. Although it was a little blurry, it was still clear that the person in the photo was Lawyer Tang. Lawyer Tang lost the case and resigned. What on earth is going on? Chen Mo looked at the following text in confusion, and after a while, he retracted his gaze. The main content of this article is about Tang Qiu losing the case and then resigning. However, because Tang Qiu is an elite lawyer of Tiandi law firm, and his employer is a subsidiary of Ruishang Group, it has a great influence in Jiangqing City. After this loss, both Tiandi law firm and Ruishang Group suffered great losses. Looking at the article. Woman, who knows how this elite lawyer got the title? The evidence is so sufficient, but he still lost the case. In the final analysis, it is still his lack of ability. That's right, although I am not an elite lawyer, I will not lose this lawsuit. It's a pity that Ruishang is said to have paid more than 1 million in compensation because of this loss. It's really unlucky. Chen Mo looked at that. It's normal for lawyers to lose the case. There will be lawyers who lose the case every time the court opens. It can be said that the ability is not good, but some comments are a bit too much. But soon, Chen Mo's eyes fell on the comment that Ruishang lost the case and paid 1 million in compensation. 1 million. If my company gets involved in a lawsuit and loses, wouldn't it be a huge expense? And my company hasn't set up a legal department yet. It's just right to set up one. Chen Mo, what is the salary range of lawyers? The salary of lawyers fluctuates greatly. Some ordinary lawyers have an annual salary of about 10,000, and those with a little more experience have an annual salary of about 200,000 to 300,000. If they go up, they are elite lawyers, with an annual salary of about 500,000 to 700,000. If they are higher, they are partners. Chapter 76 Annual Salary of 1 Million, Lawyer Tang's Choice. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Listening to Chen Mo's words, Chen Mo fell into deep thought. If a legal department is established, in order to lose the lawsuit, it is better to recruit some inexperienced lawyers. The less experienced the better, and it is best if they are all interns. In that case, as long as there is a lawsuit, the chance of losing is definitely very high. However, as soon as this idea came up, the system gave a reminder. The minimum requirement for a company to establish a legal department is to have an elite lawyer in charge. Damn, this Dogecoin system really doesn't allow any loopholes to be exploited. Elite lawyer. In this case, how can he lose the lawsuit? By the way, Lawyer Tang. Isn't she an elite lawyer, and she just lost the lawsuit? Putting aside other things, at least Tang Qiu's business ability must be lacking compared to other elite lawyers. High price, low configuration. Isn't this exactly what he wants? The system asked him to recruit elite lawyers, so it's not too much for him to recruit one with low ability. Moreover, the annual salary of elite lawyers is around 500,000 to 700,000. The salary allowed by the system will be about 30% higher than the normal salary. According to the highest standard, if the 13th salary is added, there is absolutely no problem in giving an annual salary of 1 million. I just don't know if it can be paid in advance. After all, employees were paid 1 month's salary in advance at most before. Can the total annual salary be paid 1 year in advance? After testing, the system did not refuse. Damn. Then can other employees be paid according to their seniority? But the system gave a reply soon. Annual salary does not conform to the general trend of society. The host can only pay annual salary to employees in some special positions. Chen Mo, who thought he had found a new way to spend money, was blocked by a sentence from the system before he was happy for a few seconds. Yes, the salary of lawyers in law firms is linked to the number of cases or the size. Some lawyers may not receive a case in a month, but they may receive several cases in the next month, so when lawyers talk about salary, they basically calculate it based on annual salary. This is probably why the system allows him to start with an annual salary. He sighed, what a pity. If all employees can be paid an annual salary, he won't have to worry about where to spend money. After thinking about it, he took out his mobile phone and found Tang Chio's phone number. Now that there is a way to spend money, it is natural to act as soon as possible. In any case, as long as Tang Chio is recruited to the company's legal department, 1 million system funds can be spent directly, T&D law firm, in the partner's office. Since you want to get her, why don't you expose the news that she deliberately lost the case? In this way, her reputation will definitely be worse. I guess few law firms will want her. A woman with exquisite makeup asked in confusion. As a partner of T&D law firm, she didn't understand Wu Jingguo's approach. Tang Chio has greatly damaged the reputation of T&D law firm, and the law firm has spent a lot of effort to stabilize the employer and keep this big client, but Wu Jingguo actually just hired some water army to discredit Tang Chio's ability, and did not expose the fact that Tang Chio deliberately lost the lawsuit. Wu Jingguo drank tea leisurely, looking at the woman opposite and said slowly. The internet is effective. Even if I leak this news, Tang Chio may be ruined because of this news at that time. But after a long time, most people will forget it. At that time, with Tang Chio's ability, do you think she will continue to decline? For a capable person, this negative news is not fatal at all. Also, if she is forced into a corner, she can completely expose the matter of the injured family. At that time, even if she deliberately lost the lawsuit, she will gain the understanding or sympathy of a large number of people. People will always subconsciously stand on the weak side. If it really develops to this point, who will win or lose is unknown. And in this way, our employer will also be pushed to the public opinion, and then this big client may really not be kept. Zhou Fang frowned when listening to Wu Jingguo's remarks. But it's too easy for her to let her go so easily. How can it be possible to let her go just like that? Wu Jingguo looked at Zhou Fang, who looked unwilling, and smiled faintly. He reached out and picked up a USB flash drive on the table and shook it. Sometimes, when you are not sure that you can kill the other party 100%, it is the biggest constraint to keep pointing a gun at the other party. With this USB flash drive, I have grasped her vitals. I can wait for the best time to give her a fatal blow. Wu Jingguo's mouth curled up slightly, revealing an intriguing smile. Mr. Chen, do you want to hire Lawyer Tang as the company's legal affairs? But Lawyer Tang. Chen Mo heard Chen Mo's plan and said with some concern. After all, Lawyer Tang is now in the public opinion. At this time, she is worried that it will have a bad impact if she is recruited into the company. It doesn't matter. Chen Mo waved his hand indifferently. Notify Brother Yang to prepare the car. I have an appointment to meet at the coffee shop and will leave later. Okay, Mr. Chen. Chen Mo nodded. Since Mr. Chen had made up his mind, she didn't need to say anything more. In the coffee shop, Tang Chio looked at Chen Mo across from him and said jokingly. Mr. Chen, are you looking for me this time to acquire the company again? The other party looked for him the last 2 times, but it was about acquiring the company. This time it's not about acquiring the company. I saw your news. Chen Mo chuckled and slowly spoke to Tang Chio across from him. Tang Chio paused for a moment after hearing this, and subconsciously dragged his glasses and looked at Chen Mo. I don't think Mr. Chen is bored enough to invite me here to see a joke. Of course. Chen Mo smiled and turned to signal Shen Ro. Seeing this, Shen Ro hurriedly pushed the prepared employment letter to Tang Chio. Tang, you can take a look. This is our company's employment letter. Employment letter? Hearing this, Tang Chio curiously opened the employment letter that was pushed over and took a look. After seeing the content, Tang Chio's face finally changed. She didn't expect that the other party would offer her an annual salary of 1 million to hire her to work as the legal director of the legal department of the company. After she became an elite lawyer, her annual salary was less than 700,000. The annual salary of 1 million was much higher, which she never expected. More importantly, her reputation has plummeted now. If she lost some ordinary cases, it wouldn't be like this. The key is that the employer of the lawsuit she lost is a company under the Ruishan Group, and the Ruishan Group is a leading enterprise in Jiangqing City. She lost the lawsuit, which is equivalent to offending the Ruishan Group. Therefore, everyone who knows the inside story avoids her for fear of being implicated. So since she resigned from Tiandi law firm, her offer has been rejected by several law firms in succession, and at this lowest point, the young man in front of her threw an olive branch to her despite those negative comments, which made her a little puzzled. Aren't you worried about the impact my current reputation will have on the company? Chapter 77. The guild spent the whole night without any equipment dropping. You are listening at novelfull.audio. My company pays the maximum amount of tax every month and never operates any illegal or disciplinary projects. I have nothing to worry about. Chen Mo said nonchalantly, but I couldn't help shouting in my heart, influence is good, it would be better to have more influence and make the company lose money. Tang Qiu fell silent when she heard Chen Mo's answer. Based on the current situation, joining Chen Mo's company was the best choice for her, but now she still has a doubt. Chen Mo's current company is just a small factory. Counting Tsangshui Games, it has not yet established a legal department. Thinking of this, he asked. Mr. Chen, based on my understanding of the company, there is no need to set up a legal department. Lawyer Tang, can't you just look at the present in everything? It's only a matter of time before the company grows, so setting up the legal department as early as possible can be considered a precautionary measure. Chen Mo explained with a headache, 100,000 wise. If Mr. Chen can guarantee that the company's future development will not violate laws and regulations or touch the moral bottom line, I can join your company. Tang Qiu hesitated for a moment, then slowly spoke. Law and morality are her bottom line. If it were an unethical company like Ruishang that didn't care about the safety of its employees, she would not join even if it offered her an annual salary of tens of millions. I can guarantee that. Chen Mo nodded. These requests were nothing to him. In that case, let's make an appointment to sign the contract. Tang Qiu smiled faintly. She still believed Chen Mo's words to some extent. After all, she still had some understanding of some of the benefits of Chen Mo's employees. I believe that such a boss who cares about his employees will not do anything unethical. Then sign the contract at the garment factory tomorrow. Lawyer Tang must have remembered where he is. Remember, I'll see you tomorrow. The two exchanged polite words and left the coffee shop together. Late at night, in a rental house, Jiang Zhou drank a bottle of Red Bull on the table and stared at the computer screen with red eyes, mechanically controlling the game character to spawn monsters. That's all. An hour, 2 hours, until dawn. Jiang Zhou leaned back on the seat with a confused look on his face, and rubbed his head hard with both hands to make himself more awake. After opening the group announcement and confirming that he had not killed the wrong wild monster, he fell into doubt. Are you so non-chief? One night, a whole night, he didn't even reveal one. Is there any mistake? Opening the union chat room, he planned to ask how other union members were doing. Have you obtained all the equipment? After a while, people began to reply one after another. I'm a bit unlucky today, I didn't get any equipment. I thought I was the only one with bad luck. Seeing you like this makes me relieved. Didn't you get it? Grandma, I stayed up all night and got nothing. Jiang Zhou looked at the conversations among the union members in the chat room and realized something was wrong. If 1 or 2 people are unlucky and don't get any equipment, it's okay, but if everyone doesn't get any equipment, then things will be different. How low has this game developer adjusted the explosion rate? Yesterday, there were not 30 people, but 20 people who spent the whole night preparing their equipment. Not one of them revealed their equipment, which was really outrageous. After thinking about it, I took out my mobile phone and made a call. After a while, the call was connected. What's up? Listening to the unhappy tone on the phone, Jiang Zhou hurriedly spoke. Brother Hao, something's wrong. What's wrong? Please make it clear. Chen Song sat up from the bed and looked at the time. It was only after 7 o'clock. In that game of Tianlong, didn't you ask us to farm equipment? There's something wrong with the explosion rate of that equipment. My brothers from the union and I spent the whole night farming, but not a single piece of equipment exploded. Not one thing, Chen Song said in confusion, but he had never encountered this situation before. Not a single thing. Jiang Jiu replied. I see. Chen Song's sleepiness disappeared instantly. He was planning to take revenge today. How could he take revenge even if his equipment hadn't exploded? Hang up the phone. He quickly got out of bed and came to the desk, turned on the computer, and logged into the game, entered the union chat room and asked a quick question. Did anyone explode the equipment? Soon, there are a bunch of union members here. Looking at the answers one by one, Chen Song finally understood that Jiang Jiu was not exaggerating. No one actually revealed their equipment. Interesting. You don't think that lowering the explosion rate can stump me? Quickly, a message was sent in the union's chat room. You guys keep doing it, I'll transfer 20,000 yuan for one piece of equipment. There must be a brave man under the heavy reward. These people in his guild are all game enthusiasts, the liver emperor among liver emperors. In order to farm equipment, it's no problem to farm for several nights. In a rental house, Jiang Jiu originally wanted to go back to bed and relax for a while, but after seeing the message from Brother Hao, she changed her mind instantly. He stood up and walked to the refrigerator, took out a stack of Red Bull and put it on the table. He opened a can and drank half of it, then continued to control the game character to brush equipment. So what if the explosion rate is low? If it doesn't explode in 1 day, I will brush it for 2 days. If it doesn't work in 2 days, I will brush it for 3 days. He will definitely make this money. After Chen Song sent the message in the game, he took out his mobile phone and dialed a number. Brother Hao, it's not your character to call at this time. That when the phone was connected, a slightly teasing voice came from it. Chen Song ignored the other party's teasing and asked directly. Let's talk about business. How many people can your studio get? As long as your brother Hao says a word, my entire studio can work for you. I have a job here. Help me brush equipment. One piece of equipment is 20,000. Do you want to take it? But I have one thing to tell you in advance. The explosion rate of that equipment is extremely low. The people in my union brushed it all night yesterday, and none of them exploded. After Chen Song finished speaking, he quietly waited for the other party's answer, but he believed that the other party would not refuse the price he offered. Sure enough, not long after, a voice came from the phone. What game, what equipment, how much? Hearing this, Chen Song quickly repeated some basic information. I know. Jiangqing City. In an office, Mei Yuqian hung up the phone, looked around the office, and said. Everyone stop for a moment. There is a new job, brushing equipment. One piece of equipment is 15,000. I will send the game information to the group later. You pay attention to it. In addition, I heard that the explosion rate of this game is a bit low. You can contact more people. As for how much money to pay, you decide for yourself. Chapter 78 Elite Lawyers, Legal Publicity. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the second day, morning, Changfeng Garment Factory, Tang took a look at the office and found that the layout here was different from the last time he came here. Whether it's computers, tables, chairs, or those potted plants, they're not cheap. Mr. Chen is really willing to spend money on himself. This is the contract. Lawyer Tang will take a look at it. If there are no problems, you can sign it. When Tang Qiu took his seat, Chen Mo pushed the contract that had been prepared long ago to Tang Qiu. Tang Qiu took the contract and opened it and read it carefully. After a while, frowning slightly, he looked up at Chen Mo. Mr. Chen, there is generally no problem with this contract, but there is a detail issue that still needs to be changed. Oh, what's the problem? Chen Mo looked at Tang Qiu in surprise. All the employees in his company signed this contract. Mr. Chen, there is no need to worry. This problem is just a small hidden danger and will have little impact. This is our company's early capital funding system. The contract only mentions the salary for the month when the salary is due at the beginning of the month. but it doesn't mention how to solve the problem if the employee leaves the company after not working for a full month in that month. So I think it should be added that if the company leaves the company within a month, the salary for the days not worked needs to be returned. Otherwise, if some malicious people seize the loophole and constantly arrange different people, it will be troublesome to use money after joining the company and leaving the company. As Tang Chio spoke, he picked up a pen and opened the contract and added a stipulation below a clause, then he handed it to Chen Mo again. Add the part 1 wrote in my hand, reprint it, and I'm signing the contract. Chen Mo took the contract and looked at the new stipulation added by Tang Chio. Even if it was reasonable, it was not considered an overlord contract. What he could do was to let Chen Mo make a new contract according to Tang Chio's requirements. On this first day of Tang Chio's employment. No, before I officially joined the company, I blocked an opportunity for the company to potentially lose money. Chen Mo began to doubt whether recruiting Tang Chio to the company was the right decision, while Chen Mo revised the contract, printed it, and handed it over to Tang Chio again. Tang Chio took the contract and confirmed that there was no problem. Before signing it, officially became an employee of the company. Mr. Chen, where is my workstation? After signing the contract, Tang Chio looked at Chen Mo and asked. Since she has signed the contract, she is already a formal employee of the company, so she naturally has to work in her own position. When Chen Mo heard this, his body froze. He spent the system funds just thinking about recruiting Tang Chio. He had completely forgotten about Tang Chio's workplace. At this time, there were still free offices in the clothing factory. The company's finance, accounting, and human resources are still working from home. After thinking about it, he looked up at Tang Chio and said with a slight embarrassment. Lawyer Tang, look at our company, we don't have any extra offices yet. How about you work from home for a while? Don't worry, we will provide you with food and housing subsidies if you work from home. Tang Chio had a strange expression on his face when he listened to Chen Mo's words. She found that she couldn't understand this boss more and more, so she spent a lot of money to hire her, and then let her work from home. According to normal logic, that if you spend a lot of money to hire an employee, shouldn't you be trying to squeeze out the value of that employee? But when she came to Chen Mo, she was not given any work arrangements and was simply allowed to work from home. Mr. Chen, there must be something to do, such as risk assessment or something like that. After Chen Mo heard this, he thought about it and spent a lot of money to recruit Tang Chio. If he was really not allowed to do anything, he would probably be judged as passive and sabotaging by the system. Well, Lawyer Tang, the company doesn't have any important matters that need you to solve for the time being, but many of the company's employees don't have much education. Be prepared to give a legal education class to the company's employees in 2 days to let them know more about the relevant laws and regulations. Do you want to promote the law? I understand. I will sort out the information as soon as possible. Tang Chio nodded when he heard this. It is indeed a very important thing for a company to popularize legal knowledge among its employees. Lawyer Tang, it's still early. I can ask Assistant Shen to familiarize you with the company environment. That would be troublesome. Tang Chio nodded. Since he has become a part of the company, he should familiarize himself with the company's environment. Staff restaurant. Uncle Wang, how about this sensor door? Only employees with company key cards can come in. And every once in a while, I will upgrade it. Even if other employees pick up the key cards, it won't work. No one's messing around in the cafeteria these days. Come on. Li Shen sat on the seat, looked at Wang Maonian sitting opposite and said. You still have a way. Since the induction door was replaced, no employees from other factories have come in. Wang Maonian sighed with emotion. Since the company canteen opened fire, people from other factories have entered the canteen from time to time. Eating is okay, with the employees in the own workshop watching, and those employees who sneak in will be discovered quickly. What troubled him the most was that some people sneaked into the leisure room on the second floor to play while he was cooking downstairs. Even if you go to the second floor to play for a while, that's fine, but you have to be careful. They just throw cigarette butts everywhere, and they don't care about those facilities at all, and they even steal things. One day when our employees went to play on the second floor after work, they suddenly discovered that one of the billiard balls was missing. And one of the table tennis rackets was missing, and one was broken. It seemed that they had hit something with the racket. After investigating the surveillance video, I found out who did it, but the industrial park is too big and no one has been found. That is to say, Mr. Chen has a good temper. After he went to tell Mr. Chen about this matter, Mr. Chen only asked him to find Li Shen to replace the damaged and lost things with new ones, but now that he has installed this sensor door, he has a lot less worry. No one from other factories can sneak in anymore. It's not enough to just have a solution, it also needs to be a wise leader. This induction door is not cheap, but Mr. Chen approved it without even thinking about it. Li Shen said with admiration. Indeed, everything is fine with Mr. Chen, but morning exercise is too painful. You don't know, I have lost more than 10 kilograms these days. Wang Maonian couldn't help but complain, then thought of a question, looked at Li Shen and said. There is still a problem in the cafeteria, and I decided it should be solved. Any more questions? Li Shen's eyes lit up when he heard this. Since he became the director of the purchasing department and the life department, his daily life has become leisurely. Chapter 79 We Can Sell It. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In addition to the purchase of some fabrics and materials for the workshop, his work for the day was to purchase the canteen. The materials for the workshop only needed to be replenished regularly, and the purchase of the canteen was even simpler. Aunt Dong had a customized daily recipe, and Wang Maonian would estimate the materials based on the recipe, and then call the agreed market. Someone would deliver it to the canteen at that time, and he would not be needed at all. The only thing he could do was to keep the purchase list and receipts, and then make a report and send it to the company's finance department. So he didn't know what to do that day except spending a certain amount of time learning computer office software. At this time, he heard that there were still problems to be solved in the canteen, and he instantly became energetic. It's not a big deal. It's just that Mr. Chen is worried that the employees won't have enough to eat, so he asked me to make as much as possible for each dish. I did make more, but there was leftover every day. I thought I'd make less next time, but next time it wasn't enough. It's hard for me to control the amount. To ensure that the employees have enough to eat, I can only make more, but in this way, there will be a lot of food left over after every meal, which is really a waste. Wang Maonian sighed helplessly when he said this. Every time he saw so much food wasted like that, he felt heartbroken. That's all food. Li Shen listened to Wang Maonian's words and touched his chin thoughtfully. Waste is shameful. That it really shouldn't be wasted, but if you don't make more, you can't guarantee that these meals will be enough for every meal. The employees' meals must be guaranteed, so you must make more. Then there is only one question left, how to deal with the leftover food reasonably, so that it won't seem so wasteful. After thinking for a long time, Li Shen looked at Wang Maonian with joy. There is a way. We can sell the leftover food. Sell? How? Wang Maonian looked at Li Shen in confusion. Look, there are food trucks selling fast food at the entrance of the industrial park every noon and evening. We can also make the leftover food into meal packages and sell them. I used to eat a lot of those meals. 2 meat dishes and 1 vegetable dish cost 13 yuan, and the boxes of those meals are all grid-shaped. There are not many vegetables in each grid. But we don't need to be so troublesome. Just buy a batch of disposable lunch boxes. 1 lunch box can hold 2 dishes, plus a box of rice, for 15 yuan. 15 yuan is too expensive. Didn't you just say that other people only charge 13 yuan for 2 meat dishes and 1 vegetable dish? You charge 15 yuan for these 2 dishes. Will anyone buy them? Wang Maonian asked worriedly. Li Shen listened to Wang Maonian's worried words and shook his head. It's not expensive at all. First of all, it's about the cooking skills. Uncle Wang, you guys are all great chefs. The dishes you make are much better than those fast food restaurants outside. Also, our canteen has 6 dishes for each meal, and almost every dish has meat, so 1 lunch box has 2 meat dishes. Then it's about the amount of food. Don't look at their 3 dishes, but each dish is in a small grid. Adding them together, there is not as much food as in 1 lunch box. And we have a whole lunch box of white rice. Comprehensively speaking, it's totally worth 15 yuan, and we're just dealing with the leftovers. I guess there aren't too many portions, so there's no need to worry about not being able to sell them all. And even if we can't sell them all, there's no loss, because they're leftovers anyway. The most important thing is that our workshop gets off work earlier than other workshops. When our employees finish their meals, the employees of other factories probably haven't gotten off work yet. We have plenty of time to put the leftovers into lunch boxes. Then try it, Wang Maoyan said hesitantly. He had never done this before, and didn't know if this method was feasible, but as Li Shen said, they are all leftovers anyway, so even if no one buys them, there is no loss. Of course I have to give it a try. I'll go out and buy a disposable lunchbox and try it out at dinner time to see how the response is. Li Shen slapped the table and hurriedly got up and walked out of the restaurant. This is it. Let's go in. Wu Yu glanced at the office building, checked the navigation on his mobile phone, and said to the two colleagues beside him. The three of them walked into the office building, each carrying a box of gifts, entered the elevator and finally stopped in front of a company, Sangshui Game. Is this Mr. Chen's other company? Wu Yu looked around the company curiously, and then walked in with the two people around him. Excuse me, who are you looking for? The company receptionist at the door looked at the three people who came in and asked. We are salesmen from Changfeng Garment Factory and want to find your director Wei. Wu Yu heard the front desk asking and answered. It's from Changfeng Garment Factory. Wait a moment. I'll call the director's office. The receptionist didn't dare to neglect the Changfeng Garment Factory when she heard that it was from Changfeng Garment Factory. After all, Changfeng Garment Factory was also Mr. Chen's company, and it was the first company. Director Wei was transferred from Changfeng Garment Factory. Who knows if these people in front of him are also leaders transferred from Changfeng Garment Factory? Thinking in his heart, he hurriedly called the director's office. After a while, the receptionist looked at Wu Yu and others with an apologetic look. I'm sorry, Director Wei should not be in the office at this time. Please wait a moment, I will go in to look for him. Okay, we are not in a hurry. Wu Yu smiled and replied. The receptionist heard this and walked into the company quickly, and then went straight to the employee studio. Sure enough, when he walked into the employee studio, he saw Director Wei sitting next to an employee, holding a notebook in his hand and recording something. Seeing this, walked over and whispered. Director Wei, a few salesmen from Changfeng Garment Factory are looking for you. Wei Yan heard this. The salesman of Changfeng Garment Factory, that is, Wu Yu. Could it be that he encountered difficulties in business, but he could just make a phone call, so there was no need to come to him? Thinking in his heart, he stood up and walked out with the receptionist. Hello, Director Wei. Wu Yu saw Wei Yan coming out of the company and hurriedly greeted him. Wei Yan glanced at Wu Yu, then at the gift box in Wu Yu's hand, and instantly understood. Come with me. After several people entered the director's office, Wu Yu hurriedly handed over the gift box in his hand. Master, I don't know what to buy, so I bought a few boxes of tea. You can try it. While speaking he signaled the two colleagues behind him with his eyes. Seeing this, the other two colleagues also hurriedly handed over the gift boxes in their hands. Wei Yan took the gift box and put it on the desk, looking at Wu Yu and jokingly said. Sure, I've been doing business for a while, and I learned this set very quickly. Master is still good at teaching. Wu Yu laughed. No, I didn't teach you for a few days, I can't afford it as a master. Tell me, what do you want to talk to me about? Wei Yan waved his hand, sat on the chair and looked at Wu Yu.